Do you want to make $375,000 a year doing nothing but teaching a computer program to be a computer program? Well, if you do, then keep listening because there's a new job on the market and it's called prompt engineering. Hey guys, what's up? This is Rocket from War on Error. This is our new show, and today we're going to be talking about prompt engineering. Before we jump in, though, if you haven't already liked and subscribed, make sure that you do that. That way you can get all the latest updates on tech, and you can get my perspective on things that are currently emerging from a software developer and cloud architect's perspective. All right, so let's jump in. What is prompt engineering? It's essentially exactly what it sounds like in the most basic sense, right? So when you use AI like ChatGPT from a text-based perspective, then you are prompting the AI and the AI is generating a response. So what a prompt engineer's job is to do is to train the model and provide the model information that will help other people. And sometimes they correct that information too, right? So for example, really easy one. Say that, you have the date of World War II. When did World War II end? But it says it's 1952. Well, you're going to correct that AI model and change that to 45, right? You're going to correct that date. And that allows people to get the correct information and it corrects that model so that it is giving you future information that will also be correct. So that is one job. And the other job that prompt engineers have is to look for, data that is not just wrong, but maybe not very nice and not very politically correct. So a lot of these AI models that are coming out today, whether it's Google Bard, ChatGPT with OpenAI, or Bing, which is working off that too, they're all focused on making this a very friendly environment. And so a prompt engineer's job is to say, wow, someone has literally said the word fuck 50,000 times trying to get ChatGPT to say fuck back, and they just refuse to. But it might be building somewhat of a tolerance to that word, right? And so that's a prompt engineer's job to go back and say, no, we're not going to tell our users to go fuck off. Like, even if someone wants you to 50,000 times, you're not going to go do it. So that's the job of a prompt engineer. Now, the whole claim, and if you can become one without any experience in AI or even IT in general for $375,000 a year, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a waste of the company's money. So having an understanding first of just how AI works and how these models build upon each other is the most important aspect of being a prompt engineer. You have to understand how AI works, and you have to understand that machine learning models and large data sets and deep learning, the learning networks, those all work in conjunction with a prompt engineer having to know that this is the way that these models work. If you just walk in day one and say, yeah, you know what, this everything looks good, like I'm asking it questions, it's responding, like how are you supposed to expect someone that has no experience whatsoever in IT to be able to build a language model? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, unless you're just hiring them simply for the fact checking aspect. And sure, if you're doing that, then yeah, I mean, but that's not $375,000. That's literally me asking it random facts and seeing what it gives back, which I will say there is a job for that out there because a lot of things are wrong in ChatGPT and even more are wrong in Bard. I will give a great example that Bard claims that you can go look up news stuff, right? I can go look up news articles. Well, go ask Bard the top 5 tech articles from yesterday. I get stuff from 6 months ago, and it doesn't give me any sources to it usually unless I specifically ask it for the sources. That is a great example of the fine-tuning that, someone who is just simply asking it questions and then marking this is yes, this is no. And that is a job that I really do see people having, because as we're training these neural networks and we're training these large models, you have to have a human there to say, yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's right. That's not right. I mean, you're basically just spell checking in a way AI, right? You're just fact checking and spell checking, and you are looking for anything inappropriate that AI might be spitting out. Again, great job. It's totally an opportunity for anyone who is looking for that kind of work. And in my opinion, you really don't need much experience in IT to be able to do something like that. Now, I will say there's another level of prompt engineers that actually will, they can see into the actual neural network code and the algorithms, and maybe they are working directly with the data scientists and working directly with the AI developers to tweak those algorithms. That's a whole different kind of prompt engineer, in my opinion. Being able to say, yes, this is right, yes, this is wrong, is completely different than saying, yeah, you know what, that algorithm seems to be spitting out this percentage of things wrong in this specific area, so you guys need to go look and see how that algorithm is handling that data set and that data model. Like, that's a completely different type of job, and that one, yeah, that might pay $375,000 a year, but that also takes a lot more experience in IT. I mean, shit, I've been in the field for nearly a decade, and I wouldn't even feel comfortable getting behind that wheel. And I even have experience building AI models. So, there's definitely a emerging job market out there. And I think that for a lot of people that are worried about their current job because of AI, like say you are, maybe you're middle management somewhere, or maybe you are a entry level position, or you're a secretarial position or something along those lines, and you see that future on the horizon where you're not going to be needed much longer because there's going to be a computer that can do it. Check out prompt engineering. There might be a job out there for you that where literally all you do is just ask AI questions and you record that. I mean, in a way, it's similar to a lot of other IT jobs. Just you have to, I would say that you still have to have some knowledge of IT, but maybe you don't. I mean, maybe depending on the level, like I know that QA analysts are that, which is essentially what you're doing. They don't require much IT, if sometimes not any IT experience, be a QA analyst, right? They just need usually a degree and, a couple relevant fields that could help you look at a website or look at an application and try to break it and tell what's wrong. Same thing with AI. You probably don't need much experience to be able to do that level of, debugging and that level of A/B testing, for example, and things like that. But I still think you need some experience, and I still don't think you're going to make $375,000 a year. But I stand to be corrected. I think that if you're making anything over 150, 200, and you are a prompt engineer that does A/B testing, that's wild. That is absolutely crazy, and sign me up. So I think that we are going to see a large shift of people correcting AI as the years go on. And AI will eventually get better. I think it'll get better. I think that the creative aspect of AI so far has surpassed a lot of people's vision of what they imagined AI could be. But I also think that from the fact-checking perspective, it can make up whatever it wants, and people just already are not going to fact check it. I mean, they're just not going to put anything in there to try to verify that information is correct, because they're just too lazy. And honestly, like, I mean, even when I, build code using ChatGPT or another AI engine, like, I don't fact check it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, especially if I'm doing a prototype on something like that, like, yeah, I'm literally putting that code in there. And if there is a massive, security breach in there, again, I only use it personally. I only use ChatGPT for like a, beta or a test environment. That code never makes it to production, because unless I know what, like, unless it's Python code and I know 100% what it's doing, then I'm not, if I'm learning code, then that code never goes into production, because I'm learning a language. I just don't trust it. I don't trust that it's going to catch every SQL injection or every, type of breach that could possibly happen because something was coded wrong. And I don't trust ChatGPT to be able to verify that that's correct. So, and I think you're going to have a lot of prompt engineers that are going to, keep their jobs for quite a while. As AI continues to grow and as you add more things in there, and as you start to add newer information into, I think you're going to have a lot of prompt engineers. On closing thoughts on this, my other big worry about this becomes bias. So OpenAI has taken a stance that they are trying to remain completely unbiased, which applaud. Absolutely. I think that's great. And that's the way it should be. As you bring in more prompt engineers and you bring in more, it's almost funny, right? Because if you're going to say, I'm going to only hire people that are around the company and they need to come into work, that's great. Where are you hiring them at? Are you hiring them in San Francisco, for example, where it is a very left wing community, and you're going to get then left-wing bias inserted into your AI engine? Or am I going to hire them from a, you're allowed to work remote, and we want to balance it with over here, and then we're going to hire people with more right-wing. Like, the information that you're getting might be completely different based on the prompt engineer that verified it, checked it, and then submitted it and said, yes, this is correct. So the human bias inside of AI, I think, as we add more prompt engineers and as we really try to expand the capabilities and the speed at which this data can be cleansed and be submitted into an environment where other regular users can interact with it, that's the scary part. That you're going to be fact checking basic data, and you're going to be fact checking what people would assume to be correct instantaneous data. But will it be any better than what AI already does? I don't know. From a political and from a opinionated standpoint, I don't know if it's going to be any better, because you're going to have, again, it's just going to be someone, you're using AI, right? A prompt engineer will just use AI as a mouthpiece to regurgitate how they feel and how they interpret things. So definitely that on the lookout. But again, I will go back to, if you are interested in being a prompt engineer, there are companies out there paying up to $375,000, and you don't even, in some cases, need IT experience. So go check those out, and I will talk to you guys next time.